Jaiya and Debbie Daniels, and we're going to talk about my experience with COVID-19 and how I survived it.
Welcome, Lucky Daniels. How are you doing today?
I am doing awesome, thank you.
So, what was it like going through COVID-19 at home and not being able to go to a hospital for treatment?
Scary, very scary. Um, we have never seen COVID-19 before, and we didn't know what to expect. And the information around COVID-19 was very slow coming out to the public. So it really appeared that anyone who had COVID-19 died from COVID-19. And so I was extremely afraid and unsure of what to do or what to think or how to get better.
So, how did you come to realize that you had COVID-19?
Well, at first I thought I had a cold, and I just started treating the cold. But as I was reading and as I was watching the news and reports, I realized that a lot of the symptoms that were being reported by people who were experiencing COVID-19 were similar or the exact same symptoms that I had. And across a few days, I became really, really sick. So yes, at first it was like a cold, but then I realized that I was having breathing issues and I was having late night fevers and anxiety. And I just started having the experiences and the symptoms of other people who were also working their way through COVID-19.
Good answer. What was the scariest part of having COVID-19?
There were days I just felt like I was dying. I could really feel like life was slipping away, and I didn't feel like I had any control over it. So even as sick as I was, and even though I was getting treatment, I still thought that there were times that I thought that I could die. At least it took a long time for me to recover, over 5 weeks, and at least 15 of those days, I felt like any day I could go to sleep and just not wake up.
What was recovery like?
Long and slow. At first, I was sick with a cold-like symptoms that moved into flu-like symptoms, and I was working very hard not to allow the virus to enter my lungs. Like that was really the most important thing to do. That I was working so that the virus would not move into my lungs, because I knew that if it moved into my lungs, I could end up on a ventilator. And we know that a lot of people who ended up on ventilators didn't wake up, they didn't recover. So that was really where my focus was, and your focus was in helping me. So I stayed busy, I stayed up, I continued to work, I continued to heal myself with herbs and orange juice and echinacea and elderberry and everything I could find to make myself better. And then it was just slow. At first, the cold-like symptoms left, but a lot of the COVID symptoms remained. I still had a fever every day. I still had this blurry vision and thought where I really couldn't think a lot, or I really couldn't hold information. I lost my appetite. I lost my sense of smell. So food really didn't matter to me. If I ate, I just knew that I didn't even feel hungry. And then I just gradually started getting better. So I think after 4 weeks, I kind of turned the corner, and then every day I got a little bit better.
That's good to hear.
Yes.
So, last question. Any advice for anyone's parents going through COVID-19?
Yes, stay busy and don't lay down. I know that your body will tell you to rest and to stop and to give your body time to heal, but it's the laying down, it's the resting, it's the reclining that allows the virus to progress to your lungs. So stay up, stay as active as you can, and it's tough. It's hard to work through it. It's hard to be busy, but do it anyway. As long as you can stay up and you stay moving, I definitely say the herbal remedies helped, even though I had a Z-Pack that helped with clearing up the infection in my lungs. Elderberry, lozenges, and echinacea really, I think, put a dent on how quickly I recovered. So do the herbal routes, do the medical routes, stay busy, stay positive, and just keep looking forward.
Thank you for coming with us this evening. Good luck on your recovery. This is where my mom spent a lot of her time recovering after she had had COVID-19. My mom spent a lot of time recovering in her bedroom and our living room, and definitely at her desk because for some reason, even while she was sick, she never stopped working.
Hey there, everybody. This is Lucky Daniels, and I'm sitting down for my second interview with Jaiya Devi as we talk about COVID-19 and how I survived it.
Welcome, Lucky. How are you doing today?
Awesome. How are you, Jaiya?
I'm good. So, first question. How did you think you came into contact with COVID-19?
Well, I don't know. I think I had two different strains of the flu, right, in early January. And then after I was diagnosed with the flu, I had to fly to Flagstaff, Arizona for work. And I think that at that time, COVID cases were really just picking up, and a lot of the precautions that we have in place today were not in place. And so I think it was my coming through Hartsfield Airport and then having to take 3 flights to Flagstaff and 3 flights back that somehow during that trip I was exposed to COVID.
Interesting. What were the medications and treatments that helped you the most?
At first, it was just over the counter stuff. I did a lot of Mucinex, which helped to kind of move the mucus and keep my lungs clear and my throat clear. So I did Mucinex and I did Dayquil, of course, and I did Advil, although I know they don't recommend Advil. I did Advil instead of Tylenol, and that helped. And then the doctor recommended some herbal treatments, and so I did elderberry and echinacea, and that also helped. And I think it really curbed the brunt of the symptoms, so I wasn't as sick as a lot of people have been. And then I think there was a point where I was getting better physically, but my lung capacity was diminishing. And at that point, the doctor gave me a prescription for Z-Pak, which is really a very aggressive steroid therapy that takes 4 or 5 days, but it immediately attacks the infection in your lungs. And after that, I began to feel a lot better.
So, how many days did the worst of COVID-19 last?
Wow, I would probably say somewhere between 10 and 15 days.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was sick for 5 weeks, and there were certainly weeks where I felt that I wasn't getting better, or whereas I could physically feel that I was getting better, but my breathing was more difficult. And then nighttime, as you know, because you had to nurse me through a lot of it and give me pep talks through a lot of it. At the nighttime is really difficult because you can't lay down, and you really feel like something is happening to you that is outside of your control.
Are you still experiencing any after effects?
Some, my appetite hasn't returned, so my taste buds haven't quite returned. So things that I loved to eat before I was diagnosed, I no longer have a taste for, or I can no longer tolerate. Um, and I still can't say that my taste buds are really there. So I know when I'm hungry, and I'll eat something because I'm hungry, and I'll be satisfied because I'm no longer hungry. But it's not like I'm satisfied because I've eaten something really good or I really enjoyed that meal. It's just literally satisfying the fact that my stomach is empty. And so I don't know if that will return. I don't know.
What are your plans now that you have fully recovered from COVID-19?
To live and live and live. Um, you know, this experience, I'm thankful because so many people did not and have not and will not survive COVID 19, right? And even though the news is no longer talking about it as much as it was, and we're no longer tracking, new cases day by day, minute by minute, we know that cases all across the country are spiking because our social distancing and safety precautions are relaxing. And so I'm very thankful that I'm one of those who can sit here today and talk about surviving COVID. So it makes me very appreciative of everything that I have. It makes me very thankful for each day. It makes me very excited about each new day. So one of the things that I want to do is I'm losing weight because I want to be the best me, right? And so I'm moving to a plant-based lifestyle that is focused on eating healthier and being healthier, and really, really taking my fitness and my well being seriously. I live in Taos, New Mexico, and I want to be able to enjoy all of it. Um, and I'm really doing art more, and I'm planting my garden, and I'm just being more appreciative of this amazing life that I have, because I know that I could have been like any number of people that we've listened to their stories over and over for the past few months. It could have been very different for us. So I'm just very thankful.
Well, thank you for coming in to interview with us today.
And thank you for taking care of me and standing by me and making sure that I got better, because I could not have done it without you. You were with me every step of the way, encouraging me and hugging me and cheering me on and making sure that I took my medicine. And I'm thankful for you most of all.
Thank you.
That's a wrap, folks.
This is definitely an experience neither me or my mom will forget, and I'm thankful she made it through and came out on the other side.